Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again in this YouTube astrological segment. I'm going to be talking about the March 18th, 2022 full moon in Virgo. Now, there's going to be a full moon in Virgo on March 18th, 2022. A full moon in astrology can manifest in uninhibited emotional expression. It can be a very powerful outpouring and unleashing of emotions. Now, what may have been suppressed for some time may come out. Now, the fact that this is in Virgo can indicate it might be filled with a lot of derisive and critical remarks. It may be something that caused much worry and anxiety in certain people, in some people. Now, though this may impact everyone collectively, people with a Virgo or Cancer, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant will be impacted very strongly by this Virgo, of course, because the full moon is going to be in their own sign. And Cancer, because the moon does rule and govern Cancer. Now, the zodiac sign Cancer is sensitive to all transits and phases of the moon. Now, this may be strongly attributed as to why the zodiac sign Cancer can be very moody, fickle, and temperamental. And this will be especially intensified, this transit of this full moon in Virgo, if it makes a conjunction to one's Virgo Sun, Moon, or Ascendant. Now, full moons in astrology now can represent the completions and culmination of something. Being in Virgo may be something associated with analysis, worry, could be extrapolating data, compiling data, health, fitness, diet, servicing something. Say if it falls in one's third house as an example, it could be diagnosing a vehicle. Um, it may even be the ending of frugality or parsimony for some people. Now, it also could be a project where one was very punctilious with details and something that required a lot of editing, correction, and revision. Now, health related or fitness goal, perhaps a health related issue, may come to a conclusion for some. Now, some may become um, they might become tired, full, exasperated of, could be health insurance coverage. May come to an end. What's interesting, this full moon in Virgo transit is actually going to make at least a loose conjunction to my natal Pluto, and Virgo, of course, is about health, and full moons in astrology can be associated with culminations and endings, and Pluto does rule insurance. So interesting to see what happens around this time. Now, anyway, when you have a full moon, there can be a greater propensity for accidents. And it could be where vehicle accidents may occur. The fact this is in Virgo, the vehicle accidents may occur due to not being precisely in a lane, for example, such as if you're driving down a very narrow car lane in which you could easily inadvertently move out of that lane. Now, there may be road rage due to very critical, judgmental energy. I don't believe it's limited. Accidents are limited to just car accidents. There may be a greater proclivity for accidents that are not related to vehicles. It may be something associated, say, with health and fitness, such as could be a person that could be lifting weights who doesn't put the barbell back on the bench press properly. Say if they're doing a bench press exercise and accidentally gets pinned under it, as an example. Now, work-related accidents in general may be more prevalent, I would say, during the transit of this full moon in Virgo. Now, also, this could also be a time, it could be of a Virgo-related revelation or unveiling. Now, it could be where a worrisome situation may come out or be disclosed. It could be something connected with frugality or even parsimony that could be associated with a person. And also, it may be something associated with a person's diet, something where a person may have been complaining nearly compulsively about something, and And maybe, for example, let's say, if somebody had been, complaining incessantly about you and you weren't aware of it, this might be the time it may actually come out. Say if this falls in one's 11th house as an example, it could be a friend or acquaintance or someone that's prominent in some group, club, or organization. Now, in some instances, if there's like data that was missing that you were trying to, locate, it could be the time where it comes out and it's unveiled. At this full moon, the chart. Now, it could be, also too, I would say as well. I mean, it might be something associated with a person's diet that's revealed or unveiled at this time. It could be where more people are getting, some kind of report on blood work, as an example. Um, it could be also too where it may be another way. This may, I would say, this could actually, manifest. I mean, let's say if it falls in one's 8th house as an example, it could be something where there was some kind of data that was missing on the toxicology report may come out. The 8th house rules toxins. Um, Revelations are not always bad, and it's important to remember that this could manifest in a self-revelation of where one becomes more cognizant. It could be of analytical, organizational, or cerebral ability. It may be the ability to, I can say that again, compartmentalize, such as defracting a computer. I don't know how much skill that actually takes to do that, but it could be compartmentalizing something else that might require a little bit, more actual ability, intelligence to do. Now, it may also reveal, someone that might be, I don't know if these words apply anymore, but you understand what I'm saying, could be germophobic or hypochondriac tendencies. Something may come out regarding, it could be a crime of misery of somebody you may know well. Something connected with like somebody's lower income, lower level income or stature in life, and it could be something with panhandling or loitering as some examples. Now also too, the full moon can indicate a time, where one simply can become tired, full, or exasperated by something. Now, being in Virgo, it could be over somebody that may be overly pedantic, critical, judgmental, worrisome, anxious. Now, what's interesting is that Virgo is also about precision. And the thing is, someone once told me, he actually criticized me for being too precise. I was too precise for him. Now, I don't remember the transits on the day because I don't remember what the day was. It was some time ago. It was over 10 years ago. But it would be funny. I wouldn't be surprised if there were, transits in Virgo. Excuse me, at that time. Now, another thing too about this. Now, having this transit could also indicate it could be the ending or completion of a Virgo profession. It could be where some examples could include a position, I would say, as a data analyst or a computer programmer, a dietitian, a fitness instructor, a nutritionist, a healthcare worker, an editor or proofreader, or even a veterinarian as some examples. Now, in some instances, it may indicate a disclosure of a Virgo health-related issue. Now, especially if this falls in the 1st or 6th house in one's chart. Now, there may be some issues, say, with IBS or abdominal problems, digestion, food assimilation, or something with the pancreas, spleen, or even intestinal issues. And the fact this is just a regular full moon may indicate it would likely be nothing overly serious. When it's something like a super moon or an eclipse, like a lunar eclipse, that could be something which, what I would say on average, would be much more, it'd be much more traumatic and much more serious than something that would happen, or in a health-related issue that surfaces on a regular full moon. A regular full moon, I would say on average, it's going to have less intensity, and the seriousness of any health-related issues that might come out would be less serious and not as intense, and comparatively speaking, compared to where we were compared to a lunar eclipse or say a supermoon on average. Now also too, it's important to look. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, I'm back, but anyway. Now it's also important to look at the aspects and next to points in your chart, as this could impact its delineation and interpretation for you. Now mine is going to make a loose conjunction to my natal Pluto in the 5th house. Now what's interesting is that I recently made a video in which I was responding to complaints about my videos. Now, I stated in the video that I was about 52 years old, which is true. I'm going to be 52 on July 1st. But in that fact that I don't have a significant other. Now, I may also has stated something about not having children. Now, I don't remember I stated that through the video, but I'm saying it now in this video. And Pluto is associated with reproduction. And the fact is, it's in my 5th house of children, interestingly enough. And what's also funny is that somebody some time ago made a comment to me about not procreating. Now, the fact that this is in Virgo tells me it could be about, awareness now more. It could be, of not doing so, and due to could be overly, the fact that we're having the full moon in Virgo, it's about being more cognizant and awareness of this, and not doing so. And it could be about being overly particular, which is Virgo, about who I could potentially procreate with, so to speak. Now, also the full moon is going to fall at 27 degrees Virgo. Now, as far as Sabian symbols go, this could manifest, it could be in affluence and prosperity. For those who have like a mediocre, middle-level stature in life, it could indicate greater prosperity and affluence. Now, if somebody is in a situation when they have this transit where they're already established and they're already prosperous and affluent, it may indicate an ability, could be to invest and spend wisely, and there would be less likelihood at this time of spending the money on frivolous items and putting the money in place where it's going to be more beneficial to you in the long run. It's very, such as a very smart investment. Anyway, now looking at, see what else I see in this chart. Now it's important to look at the electional aspects that this full moon makes now, because that could flavor its delineation. Now it's going to make a trine to Pluto and Capricorn. It's going to make a fairly close trine, and I see this as being auspicious for the government as far as decreasing the mandates for COVID. And it could be where the full moon, the fact that it's in Virgo, can signify the eradicating, the ending of worrying, at least to some degree. Now, the fact that it's getting a trine from Pluto and Capricorn, I would say, could suggest that it comes with help with the power, which is Pluto, of the government, which is Capricorn. Now, also, too, other electional aspects may be intensified and amplified because they're taking place at the same time as the full moon. Now, the Sun in Pisces is going to be making a close sextile to Pluto in Capricorn. Now, I think this could be another auspicious aspect for the COVID variant being less prevalent. Pluto is associated with viruses. Capricorn is associated with aging and longevity. Now, the fact that, this has been a virus that has been very detrimental to older people. The Sun can be about life. And the fact that the Sun will be in Pisces, it could be a life where one wants to really go out and attain their dreams and ideals and even be able to relax. And the fact that perhaps this aspect indicates that the virus will be in less conflict with people trying to live that life. I'm going to go off on a Gemini moon tangent here, but I believe that when Pluto eventually gets to 29 degrees Capricorn, because I think it's going to go retrograde. You want to confer that on the internet and look it up, but I believe it goes retrograde for a little bit before it gets to 29 degrees. But when it does eventually hit 29 degrees, I'm thinking that might signify the ending. 29 degrees in astrology is indicated with endings and culminations, and it could be the ending of this virus. Pluto is associated with viruses. Again, Capricorn is about aging, longevity. This is something that, again, has been very adverse and detrimental to older people, and it seems like it's been going on for a pretty long time, and it's no surprise given that Pluto is in Capricorn. Now, another thing, too, is that it's also important to look at other transits to your natal chart this time, because they're going to be intensified because they're taking place at the same time as this full moon. Now, transit Mars in Aquarius is going to be making a tight inconjunct to my natal sun in Cancer. Now, inconjuncts in astrology, I mean, they are about, adjustments, and they're about, the fact that having this transit, adjustment may need to be made. Now, this could indicate that there may be too much focus, which is the sun, on introversion, which is Cancer, which I value, being the fact that the sun in Cancer is in the second house. Now, as opposed to taking action, which is Mars, in matters with my future in astrology, and that's Aquarius, in the career, and that's the 10th house, or vice versa. The key for me is to find some equilibrium and balance between the two, I would say. Now, excuse me, we'll talk about this on a lighter note. On this day of the full moon, it's going to be on March 18, 2022. It's going to be from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. CST. There's going to be a webinar on asking, something like the Ask the Doctor Live segment. And it's going to reveal and unveil a health device that's called the Watchman FX. Now, it's a device that is supposed to diminish the propensity for stroke. Now, for certain patients, it might be, it could be those patients. These patients can be ones that can't tolerate blood thinning medications. Now, according to the website is Emanate, if I'm pronouncing it right, emanatehealth.org. It is a left atrial appendage closure device. Now, people that attend this webinar, they're going to have like an opportunity to ask the doctor that is on the live stream questions pertaining to the device. The full moon in astrology can be about unveilings again. It could manifest in something that is going to go out publicly, and that's what's happening here. Virgo, again, is associated with health. Now, on this day as well, there's going to be a 4-planet stellium in Pisces. Now, it starts out in the stellium, the first planet in the stellium is Mercury, which is about questions and inquiring for knowledge. Continues with Jupiter, which is exuberance, enthusiasm, and it's followed by Neptune, which could be connected with inspiration, I would say hope as well. And the fact that it's interesting because it ends with the sun in Pisces, and the sun is associated with the heart. Now, with this being in Pisces, this could be answers to questions about this product that may have been nebulous or unclear. Now, there may have been a lot of details maybe that weren't given out or that were omitted about this, and as far as the general description of the product. And it could be interesting that the product is associated with the atria, which is connected with the upper chambers of the heart. Now, what's interesting is that Jupiter is involved in the stellium, and at least makes a loose conjunction to the sun. And Jupiter in astrology is connected with the upstairs. And I thought it was interesting how that works out. It could be astrology having a little, again, having that sense of humor once again. But anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, Edwin Learnard saying stay well.